That was my favorite part and my worst part about, least favorite part about the climate in Alaska. Summer, you literally have 24 hours of sunlight, which is incredible, which means you can do missionary work from probably 4 a.m. all the way up till 11 o'clock, and people don't even care. People would be mowing their lawns at 2 a.m. So I got a chance to serve in a young single adult ward, and because it was summer, my mission president gave us permission to teach a little bit longer than normal. We'd teach up to like 9:30 and 10 sometimes. Nothing significant. So daylight was amazing. It was so easy to wake up. We'd wake up and go play basketball for our exercise. The world is happy. Everything's going great. But the flip side is terrible. It's awful. You would, in the winter, depending on where you are, in Anchorage you get about 6 or 5 hours of sunlight. In Fairbanks you get less. You get about 3 or 4. And if you're up in the Arctic Circle, you get 0 for 80 days straight. So basically what that equates to is you wake up, you do your studies in dark, you do your comp study in the darkness, and just when you're headed out at about 10 o'clock, the sun comes up and it's starting to come up. And then you go, you work for a couple hours, you eat lunch, and you go and you work, and by about 3 or 4 o'clock, the sun would be completely down and be pitch black. So you would have to do missionary work for 5 or 6 hours in complete darkness, which means nobody wants you in their house. I swear bedtime for children goes from like 8 o'clock to like 4 o'clock in the winter time. So we'd knock on doors at like 5 or 6 and people would say their kids are asleep, they couldn't let us in. And so it was super difficult. And the only way we could get through it is if we set appointments from people that we knew, that they would let us in at that time. With that, there's something called seasonal something depression. It's called SAD. There's a seasonal depression disorder. And that's super prominent in Alaska. There's a lot of depressed people throughout the winter because of that. And there's a lot of different mental illnesses that become prominent or surface because of that lack of light or that lack of vitamin D. So I worked with a lot of people with schizophrenia, with bipolar, with just depression. And part of it's because of that lack of light. And that also affects the missionaries. So I even felt myself be just physically drained throughout the day in the winter because you weren't getting any sunlight. So winters were really hard. You could kind of feel yourself just like deteriorating throughout the winter until the light came back. And then you'd get the light and it would be just glorious and amazing. And then you'd get the winter and you'd be deteriorating for an entire season. But it was fun. That darkness also means you get to see the northern lights, which are phenomenal. And you can see them as early as like 5 or 6 o'clock sometimes in the evening. You just get these lights, green lights, purple lights, blue lights, dancing in the sky. And they're just gorgeous and they're amazing. And I'm sad I don't get to see them every night like I do now.